Hi, my name is Jackie Gabber, and this is my assignment of leadership research in AEP 855, assignment number 2. I chose to research Michael Fullan, his early life. He was born in 1940 in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. He was the oldest of 7 boys, and he really enjoyed growing up playing hockey, and he thought he was going to do this professionally. However, at the age of 18, he started finding more interest in books, and he did receive his PhD in sociology in 1969. Since then, he became interested in leadership reform, especially in education, and the leadership reform that can be and needs to be done there. He is currently a professor emeritus at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at the University of Toronto. He's also was a special advisor on education to Dalton McGuinty, the Premier of Ontario, from 2004 to 2013. And then before that, he was Dean of the University of Toronto's Faculty of Education. Throughout his career, he has authored and co-authored over 25 books and bases these books and his research on experience from both within the public and private sector of both education and business. His main focus of his research is how to improve student achievement, and he's come to the fact that to do this, you need to improve the leadership within schools, and that will trickle on down and greatly affect student achievement. And the key to educational reform is improving teacher quality and teacher morale. One way to do this, and he's talked a lot about, is to reduce overload on both teachers and principals and fragmentation. In this PowerPoint, I will focus on 2 of his writings, The 6 Secrets of Change and The Change Leader. As I was researching, I found that these 2 seemed to sum up most of his research and had the most real way to change education, as I believe. So first, we'll talk about the 6 secrets of change. The first secret is to love your employees. So in the educational standpoint, this would be from the administration to truly care about your teachers and creating conditions for your teachers to succeed. This could be helping them find meaning to their work, helping them to find and derive personal satisfaction for the things they do every day, and help them develop their skills, whether this is teaching or content or whatever. If they feel confident, they will be happier. The second secret is to connect peers with purpose, and this comes in the form of purposeful peer interaction. A lot of this is learning communities that can be set up by an administrator, and educators are put into these learning communities where they're able to share ideas and collaborate back and forth. And these communities could be within the same content, or they don't have to be, depending on what your goal is on the interaction, whether it's content related or more, it could be tech related, so you might have teachers from across content areas together in something like that. The third secret is capacity building prevails. And the main goal of this is to strive to develop competencies, resources, and motivation. And focusing on the capacity of what's available at your school and how to use these resources to the best ability. So we all know that budgets might be tight, but we can find ways to use what we have and to build upon that. This also focuses on being or becoming non-judgmental. So finding if there are areas to improve on, that's great. You can grow from that, but nobody can grow if they feel attacked or feel like they're being judged. So from the administrator standpoint, they need to focus on, and teachers interacting with each other need to focus on becoming non-judgmental and focusing on how they can improve whatever they need to do. The fourth secret is learning the work. Learning and improving is most effective when done in context. So currently, a lot of teachers go to professional development and they might go to workshops, and that's a great first step. But you see so many teachers that go to these workshops and never implement what they've learned, or only implement a few things of what they learned. And Michael Fullen is saying that learning should be done daily, and the best way to do that is to be done while you're teaching. So it could be peers coming in and watching you teach and giving you feedback on that, and learning how to improve that way. The fifth secret is transparency rules. We all know that we have so much access to information all the time, and the public expects that, and they should. So as a school district, we must be transparent about all of the data that we collect. However, going along with that, it's really easy to say if our ACT scores are low that, oh, that's really bad, but maybe if you're looking at 3 years, that they've actually improved from year 1 to year 3. So looking at more than 1 year data, helping the public understand the data, versus just jumping right on and saying this is terrible. And it goes back to being non-judgmental and focusing on improvement. He talked a lot about people won't improve if they fear, or won't take risks if they fear they're going to be punished. So focus on improvement versus punishing low test scores or things like that. And then finally, the sixth secret is systems learned, focusing on developing many leaders at the same time instead of just one individual. This is very important to build a successful school district, as teachers come and go and move all the time. And if we're only focusing on 1 or 2 teachers to lead the school, what happens if they leave? And so focusing on developing a lot of leaders at different levels to be able to lead not only each other but also the students, and help the students learn. And then one part of this also is being open to new ideas and learning how to face complex issues. The second writing that I wanted to focus on is the change leader. And this has a lot to do with principles, but I think it's still important as a teacher to understand this too. So he had a few points about the change leader, and the first one was moral purpose. So they do a lot of studies and in teacher education programs that, why do you want to be a teacher? Well, I want to be a teacher so that I can help students succeed. And as a principal, that's still true, and they can focus on closing the gap between high achieving and low achieving students. Secondly, as a principal, understanding change and how that works. So if we're wanting to reform our school districts and change school districts, we're always talking about we have to innovate and we have to come up with new ideas. And there's so many new ideas out there that it's really easy to overwhelm yourself and overwhelm teachers. So learning to be innovative selectively, only a few things, implementing only a few things at a time, or even just one thing at a time, but implementing it really well. And then also understanding that when you implement things, at first learning about it and the learning curve, that there's a dip that occurs before you really understand how to use it, or before it really affects student achievement. The change leader also talks about improving relationships, and improving relationships could be between teachers, between administration and teachers, between the school and the community, or teachers and parents. Improving all of those relationships and making those stronger is going to help student achievement. They also talked about creating and sharing knowledge, which goes back to the professional learning communities and teachers learning from each other and not trying to reinvent the wheel, but giving teachers time to collaborate and learn from each other. And then something we've already talked about, coherence making. So there's so many things out there that teachers have to do and principals have to do that it's really easy to get overloaded and overworked, and then your leadership style might become fragmented, and instead of really focused and trying to make a difference, you're trying to do too many things at once, and so then nothing gets done. So just really trying to stay coherent in what your purpose and vision is. The next one was sustainability, and this is kind of the sum of it. So developing the social environment for students and for teachers, learning into context, which is learning while you teach, so having other teachers come in and watch you and you learn from that. Cultivating leaders at many levels, which we've talked about, and enhancing the teaching profession. And that is back to the idea that teachers are overworked. They really love what they do, but they're overworked, and then they wonder if it's worth it. So learning how to help teachers not get burned out. Okay, so how to implement these. Get the right people to become teachers. They talked a lot about this in the UK, that if you have the right people to start with, implementing these ideas and learning these things is a lot easier. Model yourself as a principal or as an administrator, modeling instructional leadership. Building capacity, which we've already learned, we've already talked about. Developing leaders at all levels. Focusing on continuous improvement. So this is as an individual or as a system, focusing on continuous improvement of teachers, of student achievement, being transparent with these things, and learning how to become better without judgment or without punishment. A new idea was to divert the distractors, so the ones that are really bringing you down or preventing you from becoming successful. Find somewhere where they can be successful and get them out of, move them along, get them out of holding you back. And if you do all these things, you'll become a systems level leader. So trying to lead overall a system of improvement. My last two slides are concerning working with parents and working with the community. So how to become more transparent with parents in the community and how to improve those relationships. So the first thing is being transparent and communicating, and this could be done through emails, this could be done through phone calls, this could be done through a monthly letter sent out just updating parents on what's going on. I know at our school we have a Facebook page that we are able to communicate with parents there. Show your morals. Sometimes we forget that parents are people and parents forget that we are people, and we both are trying to care for the same student and the same kid, and we forget that. So let them see that. And then focusing on their individual student and how we can continually help that student improve. And then finally involve parents. Get parents to activities, to whether that's basketball games, plays, musical concerts, whatever. Helping parents get there and be involved is going to help your school. Finally, working with the community. Some of the same ideas, but rekindling and strengthening ties to the community and its key stakeholders, whether that is businesses or things like that, helping them feel empowered to help the school. And this can be done through communication and involvement again, and always, always, always being transparent. Here is my bibliography, And thank you for listening.